Hello and welcome to Yoga Quest. And what do we do on Yoga Quest? It's a quest for yoga, a quest for the knowledge of yoga. And today I have with me, I'm very excited because today I have with me one of the foremost exponents in the world of yoga, a powerhouse of knowledge of the practices of this ancient art and science that today is gaining every single day in its moniker, because it's getting more value, because people across the world, doctors, people who are in the fitness sector, all of them are coming to realize the importance of yoga and how it actually is a science that can benefit us all, that can give us the immunity we want. And immunity, of course, starts with breathing. And today, my guest, I'm going to be talking about breathing. He came in 1996, a pediatrician from Zimbabwe who came to India, Rudolf Rapisada. His name is Natraj, and he is the director of the Sivananda Dhanwantari Yoga Ashram in Kerala. I'm delighted to have him with me. Why? Because he's the person who actually introduced me to yoga, got me into the rigor, got me into the discipline. He's taught me a lot. And in many ways, he's my guru. And it's very fitting then that I have him with me today on Yoga Quest. His name is Natraj, as I've already said. And why? Because he's quiet, he's unassuming, and he's a repository of knowledge on scripture. He's a repository of knowledge on yoga. I think not only in India, but across the world. And therefore, it's more than a delight. It's an honor to have you, sir, with us on the Yoga Quest today.
Om Namah Shivaya. Hello, my name is Nataraj. I'm the director at the Shivananda Yoga Vedanta Dhanwantari Ashram in Kerala, South India.
Natarajji, my first question to you, and that of course is, I'm talking about pranayam, and that's the most important thing. I think breathing right now is the big thing. So in terms of pranayam, what is pranayam first of all, and what is its place in yoga?
So the word itself is made up of two parts, prana and ayama. The word prana means the life force, the life energy that is driving our body and mind. And ayama means to liberate or expand or extend. So to liberate or extend our life energy is the practice of pranayama. And it's generally done through breathing techniques, because the breath is very closely connected to our energy. The pranayama really comes into the foreground in the hatha yoga scriptures, which are, you could say, an extension also of Raja Yoga. These are based on physical practices, especially the asana and more particularly the pranayama exercises, to gain control over our energy and thereby gain control over our mind. And this is a very important relationship between the breath, the prana and the mind. They are all interconnected. So ultimately, whatever you do with your breath will affect your mind, and what you do with your mind will affect your breath. So this is the basis of hatha yoga practice, working with the physical means, or particularly the breath, and then ultimately affecting the mind.
My next question to you is the eternal question. How is the breath and the mind connected? Yes, they are connected. We all know that. But how are they connected? What is the relation between the breath and the mind?
The word hatha has got different interpretations. The first one is the forceful. So hatha yoga is considered the forceful way, meaning using the physical practices to control the breath and the mind. Also, the word ha-ta can be broken down into ha meaning the sun and ta meaning the moon. So the sun and the moon represent the two main energy channels in our astral body. One is called the pingala, the solar nadi, which is the heating or ha aspect, and then the cooling pingala nadi, which represents the cooling or lunar nadi, which represents the ta aspect. And then yoga, of course, means union. So ultimately, literally speaking, hatha yoga means union of the sun and the moon. So bringing their two energies together and uniting them, which will bring a non-dual state of consciousness, what we call samadhi, or in hatha yoga it's called unmani avastha.
According to ancient yogic texts, The human body contains 72,000 nadis that channel the prana or life energy into every cell in our body. When prana flows freely, we are healthy and energetic. When it becomes weak, we are ill. There are three nadis important to the practice of pranayam. The Sushumna nadi runs centrally from the base of the spine to the crown of the head, passing through each of the 7 chakras along the course. The Ida and Pingala nadis spiral around the Sushumna nadi like a double helix of our DNA, crossing each other at every chakra, much like the modern day caducus. Eventually, all three meet at the ajna or third eye chakra, midway between the eyebrows. According to yogic philosophy, the Ida or lunar nadi corresponds to the feminine, intuitive, and nurturing qualities in us, whereas the Pingala or solar nadi corresponds to the masculine or analytical and dissecting qualities. The Pingala is connected to the right nostril and the Ida nadi is connected to the left nostril. During pranayam, when we breathe in, the life energy is carried by these nadis into every nook and corner, reaching every cell, enlivening, cleansing, and nourishing them. Tell us a little bit about the breath. I know people take it very lightly because we can breathe automatically. But what are the 3 parts of the breath, and how does kumbhaka help us in breathing and help us in terms of improving our life and also stretching it, if that may be?
So, Hatha Yoga describes, scriptures describe different types of pranayamas called the 7 mahakumbhakas, or the great breath retentions. And they also describe the different parts of a breath. So basically 3 main parts of a breath. One is the inhalation, called puraka. The other is the exhalation, called rechaka. And then there is the possibility of holding your breath, called kumbhaka. And you could hold your breath after your inhalation, which we usually do. It's usually easier and more comfortable. Or you could hold your breath out after your exhalation. There is a third type of breath retention called kevala kumbhaka, which is the ultimate goal of Hatha Yoga. Here, the breath stops spontaneously. When we have developed enough concentration or control or silenced the mind sufficiently, the breath itself will become very, very silent and still and spontaneously stop. And this is called kevala kumbhaka. And this is very close to a higher state of consciousness.
One of the big questions that everybody asks me, and that is, which comes first, the pranayam or the asanas, or the asanas or the pranayam in a yoga practice?
So as I mentioned, classically in the Ashtanga Yoga, pranayama comes after the asana. And that makes sense if you are going to practice meditation. You're basically moving from the gross towards the subtle. Asana means a comfortable sitting posture. Pranayama means controlling and stilling your breath. And then follow on with the concentration and meditation. But it doesn't necessarily have to be before the asana. You can do pranayama before, and in fact we find that doing pranayama before asana can be very beneficial. It helps to calm and focus the mind very quickly. So when people come to a yoga class, usually from a busy day, if we do the pranayama at the beginning, very quickly they will calm down and focus so they can be in a meditative state through the rest of the class very quickly. And also we emphasize the pranayama. We consider that to be a superior practice to the asana because it has this powerful effect on the mind. So if you don't have time to do both asana and pranayama, we would suggest please focus on the pranayama first. Of course, the asana has many benefits for the physical body, but it won't have quite the same effect on the mind as the pranayama does.
A very important question. A lot of people have asked me this question, and that is, what exactly does breath retention have as a play in and play out of our whole system, of our life? Prana is very important to us. So how does breath retention help?
Kumbhaka means the breath retention. So kumbhaka when we're doing kumbhaka, we are holding our breath. When we hold our breath, essentially we're restraining our energy. And when we restrain the energy, we are kind of concentrating the prana. And this has a number of effects. The first one is it has a purifying effect on the astral body. We say the energy is flowing through channels called nadis. And when we restrain our breath, we're building up the pressure of the prana, which opens up the nadis, so the energy will flow more freely. And this generally we'll experience as a feeling of exhilaration and being very refreshed and energized after doing the pranayama. The other effect, of course, is that the pranayama, kumbhaka, has a very strong effect on the mind. When we still the prana, we are stilling the energy, or should we say when we still the breath, we are stilling the prana, and when we still the prana, we are ultimately stilling our own mind and thoughts. So very quickly it helps to bring the mind into a very focused and calm state. So these are the main benefits of the kumbhaka. Alright, so I hope this information was useful for you and it makes your practice more meaningful, and I wish you all the best for your practice. Om Namah Shivaya. Take care.
Thank you so much for talking to us, and indeed it is a very enlightening conversation, and all the best to you. And of course, for everybody out there, please stay safe, and don't forget, what you need to do is like and subscribe at the bottom, because that's what will get us all the get us together, and of course also it will improve my standing. Please, yeah, it's important. Namaste to all of you. God bless you all. Stay safe, and I'll see you on the other side next week with another video. Till then, Denzil says bye.